Okay, so comfortable seat. Get yourself squared away. A lot of the times, if your hips can be lower than your knees, that's conducive to lower back feeling at least better than if we're sitting flat on the floor and having to try to hold ourselves up. So, right, roll your shoulders up towards your ears, roll them back, roll them down, shake the arms, move the head a little front to back or side to side. Just get your body ready for that seat. If and when you feel comfortable to do so, you'll let your eyes gentle themselves closed. The very first part of any yoga class is just this place or this time of centering. And by centering, all that we mean is it's an opportunity to bring your whole self, so your physical body, your awareness or your mind, bring all of that into this moment so that you're actually present in this space. A lot of us can physically be here, but our mind will be thinking about all kinds of other things. And well, that's the nature of the mind. Our practice is to learn how to direct that mind to where we want it to be rather than to where it just goes. So this morning, to work with that mind, I'd invite you to just notice in your home right now, in your room, wherever you're at, notice what you smell. Notice the sounds in your room. Even though most of us have our eyes closed, there's a certain amount of light that comes through our eyelids. And so we'll just notice what we see, even with eyes closed. Notice what you feel as far as physical feel. Maybe it's your clothes touching your skin, your body touching the ground or other body parts. And then you'll notice the taste in your mouth. You're just using your senses to bring your awareness into this very moment. In many practices, we also regard thoughts as just a sensory experience rather than an understanding of who we are. And so maybe this morning you just notice if the brain is in fact thinking, and allow it just to be an experience. Same thing with emotions. It's just like smell or just like sight. Notice then your breath. And it too is just a sensory experience this morning. There's no need to alter or change it. With the next inhale, let's bring the palms together, let the thumbs tuck right at the heart. Perhaps you choose to tuck the chin towards the chest, just bowing the head. This is often referred to as prayer pose. It's just an opportunity for you to set an intention. Identify how it is you wish to move through this hour, how you like to feel as you move through the hour. Whatever your intention might be this morning. With an intention set, we'll draw our fingers to our forehead, that spot right between our eyebrows. And then bring the thumbs back to the heart. Take a breath in and use your exhale to drop your hands to your lap and tuck your chin down to your chest. Perhaps your eyes stay closed and you just allow yourself to feel the length to the back of your neck. Let your shoulders relax a little more, let your face be soft. Aware of the senses. Just noticing what you're experiencing. With an inhale, you'll roll the right ear up and over towards the right shoulder. Exhaling, your chin will roll back to your chest. Inhale, left ear rolls up and over to left shoulder. Exhaling, chin rolls to the chest. Inhale, right ear up and over towards right shoulder. Exhale, chin rolls to the chest. Again to the left. Into the chest. You're just going to carry yourself from side to side. Your breath initiating your movement. You want to move slower or move faster. Your breath will get slower or faster. Next time your ear is towards that right shoulder, let's pause and allow it to just rest there. Relax your shoulders. And feel the left side of that neck, like all the way down through the shoulder. Everything is lengthening. If you want a little bit more, you could bring the left hand out and down beside your hip, kind of on the floor, and just press down through your fingertips, just a little bit even. Nice. Take one more breath. You'll use the exhale to pull your hand back to your lap and roll your chin down to your chest. And inhale, we'll roll the left ear up and over towards left shoulder. And we're here pausing, feeling the right side of our neck as it lengthens, ensuring that our shoulders are relaxed, that our face is soft. If we want a little bit more, that right hand moves down towards the earth, so fingertips can just gently press down. A breath in, a breath out to bring the hand to the lap, the chin to the chest, where you'll pause. Relax your shoulders and your face, and let your head just hang heavy. Next inhale, head moves back to the center. Use an exhale, rock your head back just enough you can open the throat. And then feel yourself lift with a chest or with a heart, like your heart is reaching for the ceiling. Your heart will stay lifted, but your head will come back to the middle, and you'll turn the head to the left. And relax that right shoulder, relax the left shoulder. Inhaling to bring your head back to the middle, twist it to the right, then relax your shoulders. And inhale, we'll bring our head back to the center. And one more time, we'll take that chin down to the chest. Bringing our heads back to the middle, let's bring our hands back together, back to our heart. And we'll flip our fingers forward. And when you flip them forward, roll your shoulders back. This is called, I think it's called a robin's breath. And so what we do is we take a big breath in right here. With our exhale, you straighten your arms, push them out. Then your inhale opens your arms wide and lifts your heart, opens your throat. Your exhale brings your arms back together, straight. Inhaling, your hands move back to heart. Exhale, push them out again. Inhale, spread them wide, lift your heart. Exhale, pull them together. Inhale, your hands come to heart. So pause here just for a sec. We're gonna keep doing it, but what you can add to this movement is the movement of the spine. And so I'm gonna turn just so you can see. It's just that we're going through cat-cow movement as we do this. So you're in neutral spine, up nice and tall, hands at heart, fingers out. Take a breath in. With your exhale, arms go out, chin tucks, tailbone tucks, back is like cat. Your inhale opens the arms, lifts the heart, spine is like cow. Exhale, hands together, spine like cat. Inhale, neutral spine, hands to heart. Exhale, push them out like cat. Inhale, open like cow. Exhale, pull them together, it's like cat. Inhale, neutral, hands are at heart. Again, exhale out like cat. Inhale, open like cow. Exhale, pull them together like cat. Inhale, hands to heart. Again, they're out. Inhale, open. Exhale, pull them together. Inhale, hands to heart. Last time. Exhale, push them out. Inhale, spread open your heart. Exhale, pull them together. Inhale, hands come to heart. Let's flip our fingers up towards the ceiling. Roll the shoulders back again. And take an inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, spread them wide like a Y. We're gonna turn our palms forward and then pull our arms down into, I don't know, it's a goalpost, it's an L. And we're just gonna hold here and feel our shoulder blades as we try to squeeze them towards each other on the back body. And it's gonna open this chest, open the collarbone. And it's a lot, this is engaging your muscles. So take a breath. Then your hands are going to move down, so your fingers are pointing towards your floor. Then you'll pull them back up, palms forward, and you're trying to keep your elbows nice and level. Let them move down again and back up. One more time, down. This is rotating your arm bones in your shoulder sockets. Then lift them back up. Our arms will lift up like a Y, palms face each other. Arms pull together, slide the hands together, and just bring it back down to heart. Lovely. Let's kick our feet to the side, then our roll over our knees. We're gonna just meet on all fours. So our good old tabletop position. And I know that we know when we get here, our knees are under our hips, our hands are under our shoulders. If our wrists are tender, our hands are actually in front of shoulders a little bit, just so that there's more than that 90-degree angle, just to give them space so they're not hurting. Pull the belly button in then here. So belly button and solar plexus, right where your ribs come together, they tuck in so that your core is supporting your back body. Just gonna do a little cat-cow, keeping with the warming of our spine. Take a breath in right here. Use your exhale, tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin, push through your arms, find the arch to your back. Inhaling, tailbone lifts. Throat collarbone opens for your cow. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, arch the back. Inhaling, tailbone lifts. Throat collarbone opens for cow. Exhale, back to cat again. And you're just gonna keep moving forward and back, your own pace. Remember, breath initiates movement, so if you wanna move faster, breathe faster. Just allowing that spine to warm up. Maybe if you're moving and your hips want to move or wiggle side to side, or your neck, your shoulders, maybe you decide to just listen to the body and to move in whatever way it's requesting. We'll take one more breath, doing whatever it is we're doing. And we'll meet back in a child's pose. So for many of us, that means that our knees need to get a little wider. Our butt will move back towards our heels, and our forehead comes towards the ground. And some of us, our forehead meets the ground. Others, we just want to stack our fists or our forearms. But we want a place where we can soften the shoulders and allow the back body to relax a little. If there's tension in your hips this morning, I'd invite you to just wiggle the hips or shift the weight side to side. And be curious about the sensation, the experience in your body. Of course, if there's sharp shooting pain of any kind, you don't be curious, you get out of there. If our arms are wrapped around the legs, we want to bring them forward. And let's inhale to pull ourselves to tabletop. Get our knees back under our hips. And then we're just gonna circle the hips, and we're gonna just do like little circles. It doesn't matter whether you go clockwise or counterclockwise. Maybe notice what you're doing though, just so when we come back, you know to circle the other way. And a lot of the times we start fairly small with our circles, just so we ease into this movement in the hips. When the hips get a little warmer, then of course your circles can get bigger. They could be slow circles, they could be fast circles. Good, so notice whether you're doing clockwise or counterclockwise, and then pause on all fours. You're gonna step your hands forward a little, roll over your knees, open your hips up, and then bring your butt back towards your heels, close your hips. Your inhale pulls you forward, opens those hips. Exhale moves them back, closes the hips. Inhaling to come forward. Exhaling to move back. And it's going to be your pace again. If you let your hips dip, remember your core really needs to stay engaged so that that lower back is protected always. Good, let's do just one more time. Forward and back, we'll meet back at that child's pose. So butt towards the heels, just for a breath. Inhaling our way back to tabletop and circling the hips. It's going to be opposite direction. And notice sensation. Notice if there's little places that kind of catch when you circle. Maybe there's noises. Good, one more circle. You're gonna come back to tabletop. Let's go ahead and tuck our toes. We're getting ready to go to down dog. If high down dog is not on your radar this morning, your hands will step forward. You'll bring your head down right between your upper arms. Your hips will stay right over top of your knees, and you've got your low down dog. If you're moving to high down dog, you're in tabletop. Toes tucked, core is engaged, breath in, and then your breath out lifts your hips up and back. And if we're in high down dog, very often our feet want to pedal, at least right at first. Back of the legs want to wake up. Maybe the hips want to wiggle. Some of you might even decide to lift a leg up, stretch it towards your ceiling. Whatever movement your body is wanting here. Notice the senses again. Notice what you hear in your space. What you smell, what you see. Notice what you feel. Your taste, the thoughts, the emotions. Everything is a sensory experience. We're going to meet in forward fold, so our hands will walk back towards our feet or our feet towards our hands, either way. When we get in forward fold, remember that knees bend to protect the hamstrings, the lower back, your belly resting on your thighs, your chin tucked in. Your shoulders relaxed, your face soft. This position is really good for our nervous system. And when we're thinking about protecting our whatever system it is that keeps us from getting sick, I can't remember right now. When we're thinking about that system, immune system, Anytime we've got our nervous system in a state of rest and digest, a state of calm, which this will help facilitate, it's going to enhance, even boost that nervous or that immune system's function. With an inhale, you're going to bring yourself halfway up, so your hands to your shins, maybe to your thighs, your elbows hugged right into your torso, and crown of your head is reaching forward. You're parallel with your earth. Imagine you can press your thigh bones back in your hip sockets just a little bit more. And you can reach forward with the crown of your head just a little bit more as your shoulders go away from your ears. Nice. We're going to come up from here. All you're going to do is unhinge your hips, walk your hands up your legs, and we'll meet at standing. Very nice. Your feet are under your hips. The shoulders will roll back, and you're going to find your mountain pose. So if you're not just kind of squared away, wiggle until you find that place where your feet, in fact, are under your hips. Lift your toes, spread them. Bring them down, grip your mat. Let your arches lift up. Let your calves, your thighs engage. Maybe even lift your kneecaps this morning. Pull your belly button, your solar plexus in. Roll those shoulders back, ears right over our shoulders, and get tall with the crown of the head. If you'd want to close the eyes, I invite you to close the eyes. We're going to do just a little breath work here. Breath that speaks to our nervous system, which speaks to our immune system, is breath that is deep. Breath that engages not just the chest, but it goes down at least to the diaphragm, to the belly. And so let's exhale, let our breath all the way out. When we inhale, allow it to move to the belly so the belly expands. Keep filling so that your ribs fill, and fill all the way to your collarbone. Exhaling from the collarbone, the ribs, and the belly. Inhale to your belly, your ribs, and your collarbone. Exhale from collarbone, ribs, and belly. Again, belly fills, ribs, and collarbone. Exhaling, collarbone, ribs, and belly. Keep breathing these 3-part breaths. Some of us prefer the Ujjayi breath here, which is still these 3 parts, but we add, it's a vibration in the throat. It's what we call like an ocean breath. It's the glottis in the back of your throat, just kind of lifting and vibrating. If you wish to add that, you'll go ahead and add that. And that just vibrates that nervous system even more into a state of calm. One more breath. If your eyes are closed, go ahead and open them. We're going to shift all of our weight into our left foot and come just to the toes of the right. And notice what happens to your hips. Most of us, our right hip lifts up when we move that weight. You're going to try to re-level your hips. And then if you feel safe, that right knee is going to pull up. So you're just balancing on that left foot. If your knee is up, pull your right toes towards your shin. Remember, your belly is engaged. Notice breath. And with the next inhale, you're going to step forward with that right foot. It's a big step. Turn the back foot and plant it. And let's stretch out so we're in, it's like our warrior one position. And so your front knee bends. And maybe you check, peek at your feet. Make sure your front heel is in line with your back heel or wider. So you've got a solid, like balanceable state. And then you'll bend that front knee, seek to go down, like into that lunge. And you're just hanging out. It's warrior one. Your shoulders might kind of square with that front foot at the front of your mat. You're going to shift warrior one to warrior two, which just means your shoulders and your torso are going to turn to the left so that your body is facing the left. Peek down at your front knee, make sure it stays in line with those front toes. Very nice. You're going to move back to warrior one, so your hips, your shoulders square with that front knee. And then back to warrior two. Your shoulders, your torso square with that left side. One more time, pull it back, warrior one. We want to roll to those back toes, and we're going to pull our back foot forward. So shift that way forward. You can hop it forward, but you're going to meet so both feet are back under your hips. Nice job. All right, so both feet are under our hips. Up nice and tall, back to your mountain pose. Let's again shift all the way to our left foot, right knee, maybe toes. Maybe knee lifts all the way up. Your hips level. I know, and balance is super tricky, especially if you're on carpet. Super tricky. Or if your mat is cushy. Very good. This time, let's just straighten that right leg and see if you can keep it up. It doesn't have to be up high. With this leg straight, imagine that your core is what's actually keeping it up. You know your thighs working, but your belly's engaged. It's helping this process. Good. Bend the knee again. Bring those toes to the ground. And let's turn our knee out to the right. So essentially you're in like a tree pose. Yeah, your toes are all the way back. So like your ankle and your toes almost are meeting. If you actually want the more balanced expression of tree, you could pull your foot up to your calf. Some of you might bring it all the way up to that inner thigh. It can really be anywhere as long as it's not on the knee. Nice. Notice the left hip. When we find tree, it's as though that left hip pops out. We want to just pull it back in. Nice job. Do one more breath. Your knee, bent knee, is going to turn to the front, and the foot is going to find the ground. Very good. So if you're not at the back of your mat, let's go ahead and scooch back there. I think all of us are closer to the front. We're going to find mountain pose again. And we're going to do the exact same thing with our warriors as we started with. This time though, right foot stays down. And we want to find those left toes, belly's in. Maybe that left knee moves up for balance before we step. It doesn't have to though. When you're ready, your inhale is going to shoot your left foot forward, back foot turns to plant. And you're going to wiggle Find your lunge, your warrior stance. Our front heel is in line with our back heel or even wider, just so we can balance. Then our hips and our shoulders square with that front knee, just to the best of our ability. And if we want, we sink a little deeper into this lunge. Nice, take a breath in here at warrior one. Breath out takes you warrior two, so hips, shoulder to the right. Inhale, pull it back, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, warrior one. We're rolling to those back toes and either hopping or stepping that back foot forward. And we meet back at mountain pose. At mountain pose, you're keeping, again, your right foot down, left toes, pulling that left knee up, right? And watching the hip wants to lift to help you, but you're gonna try to keep it level. And when you're ready, that left leg is straight. Nice job. Good, bend that knee again. Your little toes will come to the ground right beside your other foot. And your left knee is gonna move out and over to the left for tree. Nice, if you want that more balanced expression, meaning you have to work more, that foot can slide up to the calf. It can come all the way up to the thigh. Maybe wherever we're at, we can remember, roll those shoulders back and down. Pull the belly in. Nice, one more breath. Then your bent knee moves forward and your foot comes to the earth. Good, wherever your feet are at, move them so they're back under our hips. Let's bring our hands to our hips, bend our knees, then let our hips hinge, coming back down to that forward fold. Once you're down, your arms can drop, your chin tucks in, and we've got some nice big breaths down here. Next inhale, come halfway up, create that flat back. So it's as though you're parallel with the floor. Crown of your head reaches forward. Your thigh bones can push back in your hip sockets a little. Your elbows hug right in towards the torso. Your knees have at least a little micro bend still. To stand up, you unhinge the hips. Walk your hands up your legs, and we meet back at standing. Lovely. Roll those shoulders back. Roll them a couple times. Shake the arms out. Shake the body. And then just meet back at our mountain pose. With an inhale, we're gonna let our arms lift to the ceiling. Exhaling, bend the knees, hinge the hips. Find your forward fold. Inhale, come halfway. It's a flat back. Exhale, fold. We're coming back to down dog. So maybe your hands walk forward a little bit, your feet step back. But we meet here at down dog. If high down dog is not for you this morning, drop the knees here. Remember, one's no better than the other. We choose based on what our body wants this morning, what our body needs. All of us have this part in us, it seems, that we have to try harder or compare ourselves or whatever it is. And in this practice, we're aware of that part of us, but we're kind of challenging that part of us and choosing purposely to do what serves our body well. Good. If you're in high down dog, go ahead and drop your knees and find your low down dog. From low down dog, you're going to imagine that your chest can drop down towards your mat, and this turns it into a puppy pose. And here your shoulder blades might feel like they slide towards each other a little. Nice. Next, inhale, lift back to low down dog. Then step your hands back in so we meet at tabletop. At tabletop, we'll wiggle our hips a little, the head, the neck, the shoulders, maybe a couple cat-cows. Okay, come back, tabletop. Step your hands forward enough you can roll over those knees, and you're in low plank. If you want to work a little bit more, if that suits your body, of course, tuck the toes, lift the knees up, and find your high plank. One place no better than the other. To come down, if you're in high plank, you shift your weight forward. All of us, though, will bend the elbows, let them graze the ribs to come down. Once we're down, our legs lengthen. So we've just got nice open hips. And we'll pull our left arm straight forward so we can roll to our left side. And then maybe your hand just rests on your arm. Maybe for some, it's more comfortable to bend that arm and let the hand hold the head. But we want to find a place on that bottom hip, that's your left hip, where you're going to have to work to balance. Your legs are going to stay straight. And notice if your core is engaged right here. If your belly button and your spine aren't tucked in, you're going to go ahead and tuck them in. With an inhale, then, your top leg is going to lift up. And it's right in line with the rest of your body still. So it might mean that it doesn't go up very high, and that's totally cool. Your toes, though, are going to pull towards your shin, and you're just going to keep lifting that leg and attend to the core. Imagine that your core, it's your obliques, the muscles on the side of your torso. Those muscles are what's lifting that leg. Again, check in with your senses, what you see, what you smell, what you hear, you taste, the sensation of feeling, the skin touching something. Those are our typical 5 senses, but in our practice this morning, we're adding thought and emotion as a sensory experience. Good, take a breath in. With your exhale, that top leg can come down, let it rest. We'll roll to the belly then. If your right hand isn't at mid-chest level, bring it there just so you've got support. Rolling to the belly. Right arm extends. Left hand mid-chest level so you can roll to that left side. And you're doing the same thing, finding that place on that bottom hip where you have to work to balance a bit. When you're ready, an inhale will lift that top leg up, straight out from your hips, so your toes are like pointing straight forward. Your core is doing your work. And again, here you're checking back in with sensory input. It makes sense that what we see is out there in our environment. What we smell is out there. But very rarely do we really pause to consider that our thoughts and our feelings are also just kind of the byproduct sometimes of what's going on in our environment. Like cause and effect almost. Take a breath in. Use your exhale, drop that leg. You're gonna roll back to your belly. And on your belly, your hands will stack, just so you have a place to kind of rest your chin. And then our knees are just gonna bend. And with our knees bent, you're letting your feet almost windshield wiper a little side to side. Letting those thigh bones move a bit in the hip socket. I suppose your feet could circle if they want to circle. If they circle one way, just make sure they circle the other way. And then those feet will lengthen out. One arm will reach forward again beside the ear, so you can use your other hand at mid-chest level to roll you to the side. Once on the side, you're gonna wiggle so you can come all the way around and onto your back body. Once on your back body, your knees are bent. Wiggle, get your shoulder blades tucked maybe so your shoulders can relax. And feel that body supported by the earth. Feel your lower back supported. With an inhale, we're gonna pull our right knee in towards our torso, bring our hands to the knee, and just give it a gentle hug to your torso. Maybe that knee moves a little side to side, or it figure eights, or it circles. We'll drop that knee back down, so foot is on the earth. Bring that other knee in, do the same thing. Just kind of releasing lower back a little. And dropping that foot back to the earth. We've got just a little bit more work to do. We're gonna do a bit of bridge. And so setting up for bridge, your feet are hip distance apart, and I bring mine in towards my butt a little more than I normally would, just so that it's like I've got a little more groundedness to lift myself up. Our elbows then bend. We want to tuck them right beside our torso and then push down through the elbows so you can lift your chest a little and tuck your shoulder blades. And typically, as soon as we do that, we feel like the chest, the collarbone, it broadens a bit. So you're set up, you're ready to go for bridge. We're gonna do it kind of pulsing with a breath, which just means your inhale is gonna lift your hips up towards your ceiling. And then your exhale can bring them either way, either all the way to the ground or down to a hover. Your inhale will lift your hips. Your exhale will lower. And keep going. It's going to be your own pace. As you go, notice the way that that chin tucks down to the chest. Anytime that chin is tucked to the chest, your nervous system, it's going to be triggered in a way that helps it calm. The reason for that is a vagus nerve is what it's called, that's in the neck. When it gets pinched, right, neck tucked, it pinches that nerve and it sends a signal to the brain that tells the brain that we better start conserving resources. The heart rate that are lower, the respiration rate that are lower. And it begins to move us towards that place of rest and digest, which for all of us probably is needed. All of us can learn to spend more time in a state of calm. Good. Take 2 more breaths here in bridge, your pulsing bridge. We're going to use the next inhale to lift to bridge and to allow ourselves to just hold it. And of course, if at any point this is too much, come on out of there, honor your body. But if you're up, allow your hips to reach just a little bit higher. Press down through those heels, squeeze your butt. Allow your chest to reach just a little bit higher. Imagine that your knees are right in line with your hips, not pointing out like a V. Breath in. And with your breath out, come down, but roll your spine down vertebra by vertebra until you're finally all the way down, where you can relax the belly, the butt, the legs, relax the face. Your right knee again will come back in towards your torso, hands to your knee, give it a hug in. Breath in, breath out, I'll bring right foot down. Breath in brings left knee in, hands to the knee, give it a hug in. Breath out brings left foot back to the ground. And let's see what happens if we bring our feet all the way together. Let the knees drop out and open so the soles of our feet connect. And roll those shoulders back. I like to bring my hands to the crest of the hips here and just, I don't know, sometimes it's pressure that I apply. Other times it's as though you can gently massage the crest of your hips. Your main hip flexor in here, the muscle that lifts your legs up, it's called your psoas muscle. And it's often referred to actually as the stress muscle, but it's largely responsive to stress, to fight or flight or freeze. And so by purposely relaxing it again, we're trying to remind the body that it's okay to relax. In that state of rest and digest, our immune system functions better. We sleep better, our metabolism works better. Let's take one more breath. Using an inhale, we'll pull our knees back together. If you need to bring them both back in towards your torso, just for a little bit more releasing before we stretch out, your knees might come in, might rock a little side to side. Maybe your knees circle. A couple of you are happy baby fans, which just means that you're going to reach for your feet. Your knees will be bent. Knees kind of in towards the armpits. Your butt stays on the ground though, your sacrum, that flat bony part on the back of your butt. When your body says that it's okay for you to go ahead and stretch all the way out, your legs are going to lengthen. And if you get them out straight, and that's not okay with the lower back, you can try a few more releases if you want, or you can just end in Shavasana with your knees bent so that you're honoring that lower back. If you have a blanket close, whatever it is that you need to make yourself comfortable for this last bit of time. Just resting on your back. And as you rest this morning, let's again check in with senses. Aware of what you smell right now in your space. Aware of what you hear. And even though your eyes might be closed, there might be light that comes through the eyelids and you can still see something. Maybe there isn't light, but it's as though you can still see. Notice what you see. Notice the taste in your mouth. The sensation of your skin as it's touched by your clothes or by the floor. And this morning, our senses include thought, and they include emotion. Having noticed the sensory input, you'll turn your awareness to your breath. And your breath moving at its natural rhythm. As you exhale, allow your body to relax. Your face softens. Your shoulders, your belly and your back. Your butt, your legs. You're letting everything soften and relax. And for our last little bit of time, I'm just going to share with you it's the Radiant Sutras number 106. And it's just a thought or a practice. It says, set your mind free to wander anywhere it wants. Think any thought, ride any wave, surge in any direction. The instant a thought springs up, abandon it and move on. Don't let the mind rest anywhere. In this way, gain entry to the bliss of the silent depths beneath the surf. Set your mind free. To wander anywhere it wants. Think any thought, ride any wave, and surge in any direction. With your mind free to wander, you might notice how different it feels when you choose to let it wander. Different than when it just decides to wander on its own and it takes you everywhere. Seems like you can't focus, can't concentrate. This is very different. When you're choosing to let it wander, it's as though you're witnessing it. You're observing it. Taking that awareness then from the mind back into the body. Move your awareness down through your body, and let's take it all the way down through the legs, down to the feet, and into the toes. Once it's in your toes, you'll let your toes wiggle. Maybe even your ankles will roll. Awareness will move back up through your body, and then down your arms into your hands so that those fingers can wiggle. And maybe the wrists roll. Maybe you let your head move a little so that the neck experiences sensation. We're going to make our way to our side bodies. So we just need to bend the knees. With our knees bent, we let our hips shift one way or another, and that lets your knees fall to the side. When your knees fall, really easy to just roll on over with the rest of the body. A breath or two there on your side. And then your hands and your arms are going to be what helps push you back up to a seated position. Maybe your eyes stay closed as you move. Maybe they don't, but when you get back to your seat, go ahead and close your eyes again. With an inhale, we'll bring the palms together, tuck the thumbs at the heart. Your chin might bow down towards your chest. And the very last thing that we share this morning is the term namaste, which just means that the part of me that can notice or witness, the part of me that can choose to set my mind free to wander, that part of me honors that part of you, recognizing that it's the same. So namaste.